Good Monday morning. Hope you all had a good weekend. So, I am on my ab twister here. Mainly because I get bored with exercises a lot. And I don't know, just undiagnosed ADHD or what. I mean, I have two children that do have ADHD. No, not children. One's an adult now and one's almost 17. He's almost 17. So, and I always tell them, hey, I know you have ADHD, but we don't use ADHD as an excuse. We have to keep going and doing what we gotta do. And if I had ADHD, it could be something else that's undiagnosed for me. Years ago, when I was probably around 8, I had a lot of issues with what would be considered OCD, and my mother took me to a doctor, and he's like, yeah, we don't really know much about OCD. Back in the 70s, they didn't really know that much, so that's true. But I had issues with, if I touched this counter with my right hand, I had to touch it with my left hand. If I was walking down the street and the sidewalk had a crack that was uneven, touched it with my right foot, I had to touch the next crack with my left foot. And then if I scratched my right leg, I had to scratch my left leg. And let me tell you, being in a production facility where you have different textures and you deal with your right hand, it would slow me down so much I have to touch it with my left hand. But the doctor said just have to do behavior modification, and if you catch him, tell him to stop. So it was a long time of having that. And then the other issue I had, which isn't as noticeable, is the counting. I could tell you how many steps it took to get anywhere in the house, how many steps it took to get from one classroom in school to the next classroom. I was constantly counting steps, seconds. One of my favorite pastimes as a kid was counting change. I had this big party ball. Not sure if everybody knows what that is. But back in the 80s, they had the tags, just about this size, that was shaped like a big plastic ball. It was a lot of people call them the party tags. My parents worked at a beauty studio, and I guess you were able to return them sometimes in your closet, I don't know. But that's how I had one. And I used to fill that thing up with all my loose change. Because we used to use a lot more cash back in the day than we do now. So, when a week that would go by, I would dump that out and count all my change. And I had a process to that too. As I messed that up, I would have to restart the others again. Yeah, but I don't do that anymore. Occasionally I might, but I think the last time I did that was a couple years ago. So, that's all. My 5 minutes is almost up here. So I'm probably just going to keep doing this. I didn't even grab my dumbbells yet. These actually make me do better with these extra weight. I hope you guys have a good Monday. We're going to keep doing this 5 minutes every morning until I get bored of this. I'll see you next time. Stay safe.